education that there won't be any time to train anybody. Just come in and keep the ball rolling. As a result of that, VSO, because our major tools that we're using in implementing our project is volunteerism. So we have different categories of volunteer. We have graduate volunteer. We even have community volunteer that might not even write, or you understand. And we have professional that are coming in with experience. So we have different categories of volunteers that can accommodate this. But also because of contractual responsibility, there are certain roles that cannot be given to a volunteer but to an employee. That's one. Then I want to just react slightly to my madam from Federal Ministry of Education. There is no way this kind of gathering will be staged without talking about the decay in Nigeria education sector. And it's not just about education, it's systemic failure.
Should be contracted to volunteers and what should be given to staff. I think that falls in the volunteer abuse category, right? Is there like a mechanism, like is the nnvs and VSO, is there something on ground for volunteers that feel abused to report or something? Yeah.
We were able to identify those things. What happens when your rights are infringed upon? So what do? You know, and not only for the volunteers, but even for the organizations. If you engage volunteers and they maybe did something that will affect your organization, like how do you manage those processes? You know, so the truth is that managing those process begins from training. If the training and the recruitment process of these volunteers, if you have that in properly captured, it will be easier. I mean, they get it.
NSBS is an agency, it's an autonomous agency headed by the National Coordinator to Education and Massive Education. So he steered NSBS to what we're seeing today. All the programs we are seeing, whatever that's supposed to have done in NSBS has been designed by the National Coordinator of NSBS. Then it is an autonomous agency with a vote, financial autonomy and otherwise. And then after the retirement of education, then the government did not appoint a new national coordinator. That's how NNV respond to the department under political and economic affairs or office of the Senate Federation. So today it is a department in OHS. Previously it has a national coordinator, it is autonomous. But then why NNVS, since its establishment, NNVS has programs and activities, design programs. For example, the Ghana conference that we have 2 times in a year, we have monitoring and evaluation of volunteer programs. We created state offices, NNVS state offices, just like the FCT office here. We have other 36 states. Then we have, we facilitate rural and foreign medical mission. These are the programs NNVS carried on. And then most importantly, NNVS was established in 2003. Before 2007, NNVS have gotten a draft national policy on volunteerism. Just under 4 years, they have gotten a draft national policy on volunteerism. 2009, they have submitted this draft to United Nations Committee to help them fine-tune it and finalize it. By 2013, national policy on volunteerism had been validated in 2002, alongside with the national policy on diaspora. Along these stages, NNVS has been collaborating with stakeholders which could plan a thematic group. There are committees that have been helping NNVS, collaborating with NNVS to draft the national policy. And this committee meet at times to discuss way forward on volunteerism. It can best be described as thematic group. But things take change.
Can anybody remember? I think 25 million or thereabout trade. So everything was still coming back to volunteerism because it's volunteers that will go and plan this trade. So that high level commitment is there. The policy itself has 8 parts. Then part 9 looks at the plan of action. So from pages 1 to page 37 of the policy, the document you have is the 8 parts of the
corporate governance that could lead to ISO. You understand? For non-governmental organizations, we need to take that seriously. It will help in the sustainable implementation of the policy that we're talking about.
I totally agree with you. Just because
issue of nnvs should be taken seriously because honestly,
you need to say it again.
nnvs shouldn't be a department in any SPF or whatever. NNGF should be an agency with a director general because you already have the structures at the subnational and probably at the local. So I don't understand. I don't know how you're going to do it because honestly, we need to do the lobby and evaluate and all that it entails to enable NNVS, to move out of that.
When there is a bill in the National Assembly on volunteering, are we aware? Nobody, I've asked many people, they are not aware. But I read the document during the COVID. So, and I shared it with a few people. I think I will look for that document and share. I read it, but it does not represent what we are talking about. It only talked about creating offices for people and filling positions, but no direction.
Can send out there. As regards this volunteering, she took us through global standard of volunteering, where we talk about the duty of care and other things. Are there any key points, key advocacy messages that any organization that wants to do sensitization or advocacy can take up and use? Or even if we as thematic group want to have jointly do sensitization and advocacy nationwide, the key points, the key messages that we need to send out there is what we want to do now in the next session.
Voluntarism. We have to educate the public on what voluntarism is, the benefits of voluntarism, what individuals could contribute.
You're not listening.
We are listening, just go ahead.
What individuals could contribute in their own sphere, what their passion is, what they could actually do to volunteer, and then organizations, what part of organizations to come in. You have to be able to tell the organizations that this is what you can take part in, and if it's what they could do, they would actually contribute. And then I'm sure a jingle would also be placed too. This jingle could be on humanity, and voluntarism is development. Voluntarism is a culture of life. Helping your neighbor is a culture of life, and this culture brings development. That's what